we just got some brand new information on the Legend of Zelda 40th anniversary, and oh boy, it just got exciting. Now first off, we know of two brand new items that are going to be happening for this anniversary. In fact, this could go up to 3 separate things that seem to follow along a timeline that has been specifically set. Potentially, Nintendo's whole 40th anniversary plan has just been leaked. First off, if we were going to take a look at it, there's been a post that has been making the rounds from Special Nick. Now, who exactly is Special Nick? Well, he seems to be the original leaker for the Ocarina of Time remake. So if we take a look at this right here, you can see that he says, "Man, I want the Ocarina of Time remake so bad. I got a DM a while back that seems to have a pretty big budget." Now, if you were to take a look at this Discord post, it seems like this actually happened December of 2024, which is definitely really crazy, and before Nate the Hate even got the information. So overall, that definitely checks out. Now, if we were going to look at it, it seems like we are going to be getting a Pro Controller and a console that is going to be Legend of Zelda theme. Not necessarily for Ocarina of Time, but for like the 40th anniversary or something. That is definitely really fantastic. It seems like this controller is going to have green accents with a Triforce crest in the middle. Now, if we take a look at this, Hugo Gaming made a post that potentially AI made, but whatever, it's definitely cool, that shows green accents and a Triforce crest in the middle. So it's going to be something very similar to like the Splatoon ones where it had the yellow and blue sort of accents on the controllers, or even green and pink. That was one that happened. But overall, this is definitely all some really great information. So then you can even see this post right here from Necro Felipe, which is another pretty reliable Nintendo leaker. He says, "Correction, Nintendo Switch 2 Pro Controller, The Legend of Zelda 40th Anniversary. It's not theme controller tied to Ocarina of Time." Special Nick goes on to say, "Yes, correction. The controller is Zelda theme, not necessarily Ocarina of Time." So that right there is definitely really fantastic. And underneath this entire thing, you can see "forgot to mention that detail, haha." And then you like, so you think the console is still coming. Special Nick goes on to say, "Yep." So this is all some fantastic information. The console is going to be coming, the controller is going to be coming. Man, this is going to be a great 40th anniversary celebration. Now, if we were going to take a look at it, when could all of these things sort of be announced? Well, first off, we can definitely still look into August as that potential time to get all of this information. Because when you look at it, August still makes the most sense in a lot of ways. Because if Nintendo really wanted to get ahead of the information like we've seen them do in the past, like if you look at Star Fox, that just got a random shadow drop after it pretty much got leaked all over the internet. So it seems like potentially they're going to be making a Zelda 40th anniversary celebration direct that could potentially tie into maybe pre-orders for the console. Maybe it's not actually pre-orders for Ocarina of Time, but pre-orders for the Legend of Zelda 40th anniversary console. So then this could probably be releasing around October. Then you can see Ocarina of Time game in November or December. That would definitely make the most sense to me. And right now, it's looking like definitely a massive budget, because you can tell that, man, the game looks completely different. And you can also tell that from this right here, you can see Reborn Across Time. Now, there's a lot of you that don't necessarily think that Reborn Across Time means anything at all. But if you were really going to specifically look at it, pretty big budget, plus a Zelda anniversary console, usually they only celebrate with Zelda consoles and things like that if there's going to be one game that's going to be tied into it that is going to be like something big. Like something big game, you get like a special anniversary console. So that's the way that I see it. Also, if I was going to take a look at it the way that I really take a look at things, with a $50 price increase happening in September, they're definitely going to need something to sell consoles. And what better way to sell consoles than with a 40th anniversary celebration console? This would honestly be really fantastic, because then with that $50 price increase, you might not say, "Hey, this is a terrible deal." Instead, I'm gonna buy it because it's a special edition Zelda anniversary thing. It also seems like the Joy-Cons are going to be different since it's a special edition Nintendo console. Right now with the Switch 2, the Joy-Cons have been pretty boring. They're pretty much just black and that's it. I would honestly be pretty disappointed if they make this entire console and make it black with gold accents around the rims. It doesn't seem like that's going to be the case for this console, but something that can very clearly look like this, with green accents, gold around it, Triforce crest all over the place. Overall, all of these things definitely make sense. Also, if you were going to look back about 5 years ago for the 35th anniversary, we did get brand new Joy-Cons, which was the sword and the shield for Skyward Sword. Still to this day, those are very sought after Joy-Cons, which is honestly really fantastic to see. So hopefully something here happens. Overall, all of these things aside, definitely make for a really exciting time with Nintendo. The future is definitely looking good with all of these different connections. Also, if you were to look at one other connection that technically could be made for this entire debacle, you could potentially think as this console to be not just specifically Ocarina of Time, because maybe there's going to be another Zelda game that is going to be coming out later. If it was just going to be Ocarina of Time, well, Ocarina of Time is going to be a Switch 2 exclusive, maybe they're going to be doing something else for this special anniversary. I can't wait to see what's going to be happening. This controller, the Pro Controller, definitely is going to look awesome. To this point, we already did get special limited edition sort of Pro Controller. One of them was actually the Resident Evil Pro Controller, and I forgot what the other one was. But this would be like the second or third Pro Controller, and this one would actually have colors. Like, you can't actually wait for colors, because man, colors would be awesome. It would actually make it feel great and unique, because right now you can buy different colored Joy-Cons, but can't promise you that they're going to seem different. They seem the same. The only ones that really stand out, I guess, different is colored ones. Yeah, they really do. Overall, it definitely seems like, yes, we are going to be getting a special edition Nintendo Switch 2 with a Pro Controller, which is definitely really fantastic and a great way to celebrate the 40th anniversary of the Legend of Zelda series. Also, you could potentially take a look at it if there's been a lot of rumors about if it is going to be the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time sort of Nintendo Switch 2, well then, could it include the game? Because I honestly hope that, yes, it should include the game, and it would include the game as a physical copy. That'd be the best case scenario, because remember going to a store or something and buying a actual bundle and you would get a physical game inside of it? That was honestly the best case scenario. But overall, I'm just excited to see what is going to be happening here. The Legend of Zelda 40th Anniversary Special or a Direct could definitely be happening in August at some point. So we're going to have to see what happens. Anyways, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Consider that like button, maybe subscribing if you're new. We do a bunch of different Nintendo content on this channel. Anyways, thanks for being here. See you in the next one.